Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents Star Wars Wednesday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the Target exclusive Star Wars Micro Galaxy Squadron Rebel U-Wing. Let's get into it! Let's start things off with a look at the packaging. And here on the top we've got Star Wars Micro Galaxy Squadron and some sky going on there. Nice big window on the top to let some light in, shining down on the inside. On the front here we've got Star Wars Rogue One. And there's a picture. Nice big window showcasing the figures right here and the vehicle. Star Wars Micro Galaxy Squadron and the nice chromey stuff that never turns out well in the chroma key. Warning! Don't stick things in your pie hole that do not belong there. Rebel U-Wing, again, all of this stripe at the bottom. It's that nice chromey stuff that never does well. 8 and up, 7 pieces. It's number 0129 on the bottom. Small, fine, legalese, Jazzwares, made in China print. Don't give it to babies. Symbols I'm not going to learn. A barcode, and jazzwares.com/support and Jazzwares LLC made in China. On this side, we've got some, hey, the thing does this. This is how you put it together. Star Wars Galaxy Squadron, or Star Wars Micro Galaxy Squadron, that silver chromey stripe. Then on this side, we've got some nice artwork. Says Star Wars right here, and Disney, and obviously this is from the end of, you know, that last battle on Rogue One, and that nice chromey stripe. Star Wars, and then here's some stuff that it does. Nice hologram here. Clip and collect info card. Rebel U-Wing, Starship class, and Disney print. StarWars.com, Lucasfilm print, and Micro Galaxy Squadron. And here's some other stuff it does. That, my friends, is a look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the figures and the vehicle. And here we have Handy Dandy Tweezers to help us take a look at these little itty bitty figures. And the mold on the 3 soldiers, there's 3 soldiers and 1 pilot. The mold is exactly the same, but there's a little bit of a paint difference. So this guy has a darker complexion than the other 2, but I think for the most part his suit is the same color except for his boots. So we've got some paint here, the gloves, maybe the belt buckle right here, and then the head, the helmet, and the face. And all 4 of the figures have the same articulation. At the shoulders, a 360-degree rotation, and at the hips, approximately a 90-degree bend to put them in a seated position. Now these other 2 guys are exactly the same, and you can see where this one is a little bit different. This one, it's a little bit different than the other 2, and it's mostly paint. So his vest is different, I think. No, it's the same. Gloves are the same. So the faces are different, and the boots are different, it looks like. So that's cool to give you a little bit of variety. And then this one is exactly the same as the last one. as far as I can tell, at least. So there's that. And last we have the pilot, and I'm thinking he's in a blue suit, but I could be wrong. I'm colorblind. I'll make fun of handicapped people if I get any of these colors wrong. So he's got some yellow for his visor, maybe. I don't think he has anything for his face, and he's got some details here along the top ridge of the helmet, and blue on either side. Some of his hoses are painted. There's a couple little paint apps here on the chest box, and then right here too. And then, you know, his gloves, his leg straps, and his boots. And again, he can, you know, goes in a seated position like the others. Well, let's talk about the vehicle. And first we'll take a look at the landing gears, because these back ones can be a little bit tight. So I'm only going to work one of them for you, but they do close up like that. And then I actually didn't have a problem doing it that time. So the front two you would think would be keyed together, but they are actually separate. So there's that. And those aren't real hard to do, so we won't we'll just leave those in for the time being. You notice it's got the window here on the bottom, just like in Rogue One and Andor, and pretty much every time we've seen this since then, a little bit of a window right here on the side, although you can't really see anything in it. It's got this nice blue trim throughout it, because I'm guessing it's part of Blue Group. And then it does have a nice wash all over it, and it's got some, you know, some pitting in the paint to give it that Star Wars look. Some carbon scoring around the engine nozzles. We've got this dark silver, like gunmetal, I guess, right here. And then we've got these faint, I think they're yellow. So, but nice molded detail throughout. It's got these two guns up here. And as far as external weapons, that's pretty much it. The wings do clip into place right here. So, and it's on a C-clip here. And they're pretty tight. And they do kind of sort of lock into position back here as well. And I say they lock in here. They just fit in that groove. They don't really lock. And that one kind of locked a little better than the other. So there's how the wings do for, I guess, an atmosphere. I don't think they spread them out like that in space. I could be wrong though. Wouldn't be the first time. And there's the C-clip, and there's the post it goes on, and that happens on this side at least a pretty good bit. So just something to be aware of. It's not a real issue. It pops right back on. I don't know why it keeps popping off though. So the cockpit does open up. It's hinged right here at the front, and you can see in there's the window. Whoop. And two seats with pilot's yokes and some clips to hold the figures in place. These side doors also open up, and they're on like a, I don't know exactly what to call it, but they open. You'd think, oh, it only opens like that. No, it slides back too, so it's on a slide, and not just on one side, but on both sides. So I think that is super cool. And you can see there's a post or a stand for somebody to stand up in, a clip somebody to stand up in, and then a couple of seats. And that's on both sides. This side has a gun. And well, how do you get guys in there? Well, funny you should ask, because this top piece here, not easily, but it does pop off, and then you get some internal access there to sit a couple of guys down. You can sit 3 on this side, it looks like, and 3 on the other side, plus 1 guy standing up to work the gun. And the gun does not stay in like that, although I can't get my fingers in there to get it. So handy dandy tweezers will help us out a bit. And there is not just this movement, but it's on a ball joint, so there's a little bit of extra movement in there as well. And these guys are really hard to load up in here, so I am not gonna go through all that. And once you pull that cover off, you can see there's some more engine details in here too. And yeah, about that same gunmetal color, but just nice details. And so, you know, this thing is pretty cool. It has a lot of features for a Star Wars vehicle, period, these days, unless it's a HasLab. And especially for its size. And that piece you just kind of snap back into place. And then the cockpit closes down. And we can put these landing gears back out so we can set it down. And then we can say, there you have it, my friends. There's a look at the figures and the vehicle. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have the Star Wars Micro Galaxy Squadron Rebel U-Wing with the Star Wars Micro Galaxy Squadron A-Wing and the Star Wars Micro Galaxy Squadron TIE Interceptor. For our last set of comparisons, here we have the Star Wars Micro Galaxy Squadron Rebel U-Wing with the general release of the Star Wars Micro Galaxy Squadron Millennium Falcon. And I know it looks really odd hanging off the turntable like that, but it's the only way I could fit it up here, folks. For final thoughts on the Star Wars Micro Galaxy Squadron Rebel U-Wing, I have to say I was a bit impressed with this. You know, it's pretty standard in as far as the detail that Micro Galaxy Squadron line usually puts into it. You know, there's a lot of detail on this vehicle, and I like the colors of it. And then there's the figures. Instead of giving us 3 soldiers that look exactly alike, they gave us one with a different color boots and a slightly darker skin tone, just to add some variety even amongst the crew of this ship. So I like that. And you know, they're not super detailed as some larger scales might be, but for the size that those figures are, they do have a lot of sculpted detail and paint apps on them. The cockpit opening up on this and the top popping off, you know, that's pretty much to be expected, so that you can get to the internal parts of it. But the fact that it had 2 sliding doors, 1 on each side, really, I was like, wow, it really impressed me. And so I guess it doesn't really take a lot to impress me, but I was really impressed by that feature, because even the really crappy Hasbro U-Wing that they put out for Rogue One, all it had was a cockpit for Cassian Andor. You couldn't even put K2SO in there with him. But so, and just, I don't know. Did I say I like the colors on this one? Because I do. And again, lots of nice molded detail, especially given the scale of this. And I think the paint jobs on the figures and the vehicle, again, given for the scale, are pretty good. And the vehicle, you know, is pretty good, period. You may not see this many paint apps on a Hasbro 3 3/4 vehicle, unless of course it's the HasLab. I don't know. I don't have any HasLabs, so just not my thing, I guess. Of course, I'm out of the 3 3/4 line now. Kind of wish I hadn't gotten out of it, but I did. And so I have to live with that now. But things are what they are. And, you know, I believe that things work out the way that they're supposed to. So. But that does it for the review of this impressive piece. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, I am now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page, or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you, but only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content or just help the channel grow, or both. That's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.